When I arrived at the movie theater to go see Captain America Civil War, I was greeted by Captain America, Black Widow, and Spider-Man, all their courtesy of the character company. And just take a look at their costumes. Great, really great costumes, really well done. They look even better in person. I think they look great in this picture, but even better in person. And not only that, the people wearing these costumes were really nice, really warm and welcoming, and they got me even more hyped to see the movie. And of course, when you see people dressed as characters like this, it kind of brings back that childlike feeling within you. So I was hyped up definitely to see the movie, and I had to put in a request for a specific picture. So big thanks to Spider-Man here for grabbing Captain America's shield and striking that pose for me, which has already become so iconic from the movie. This is the business card that I was given by the members of, or the workers from the character company. And again, there you see a very cool Spider-Man. See here that they have a Facebook page. Very easy to remember, facebook.com/the character company. They also have their own website there, thecharactercompany.net. Also have the email account, myrtlebeachcharacters@gmail.com, and a phone number here as well. Okay, so there's all the information there. If you're in the area, you need some good characters, and some good costumes, these are definitely people to check out. And, I'm a pop collector, obviously, so I was definitely amused when I looked at the back of this card here. And it says they're the best children's character entertainment on the Grand Strand, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see this character here. But, if you're a Funko Pop collector, apparently you just can't get away from Frozen. I don't think there's any way to escape it. I also got this. I found this as well while I was at the theater. Okay, the little promotion here for the character company. It says, creating memories to last a lifetime. Voted the best children's entertainment on the Grand Strand. They have princesses, superheroes, mermaids, fairies, pirates, Jedi, and more. This is a $25 coupon which expires October 12th. And they do have a promo code here as well. And again, their contact information. Again, it was really nice to meet these people. It was a nice little surprise there at the theater. So again, if you are in the Myrtle Beach area, you need some characters and good costumes, definitely give them a look. Now, let me go ahead and jump into the main focus of this video, which is to talk about Captain America Civil War. I'm going to do this in a very unconventional way. This is not really going to be a straight up movie review, and at the same time I'm definitely not going to get into spoiler territory. What I really want to do is focus on how each character was handled within the movie. And I'll say again, I'm not going to spoil this movie, although I may address some previous movies, some previous Marvel movies. So let me start off with our main two characters here, Captain America and Iron Man. Now obviously this is Captain America Civil War. And I know some people were wondering, is this really going to be more of an Avengers movie with Captain America's name on it? Or is it going to actually be a Captain America movie that just features a lot of other characters? To me, I think it kind of strikes that perfect balance. There's enough focus on Steve Rogers to really make it feel like a Captain America movie, but it's not as if the camera is always on him and it sticks with him constantly. But I think it balances out the characters overall pretty well. Of course, there are some scenes that mainly focus on Tony Stark, but he doesn't completely take the show away from Captain America. So it was very well handled in that regard. And both of these actors, they just know these roles so well by this point that they did an absolutely perfect job there. Robert Downey Jr., I'm so thankful that he's finally said that he's willing to do another Iron Man movie, because to me, the series is just not done. If you watch the short film Hail to the King, then you know that there is a real Mandarin who's very upset about his name being misused by Ben Kingsley's character, Trevor. I can't remember his last name. I think his name was Trevor, though. But he's very upset about that. And also Aldrich Killian, I can't remember his full name, but we know that character's already been taken care of. So, again, the real Mandarin, though, is definitely upset about his name being misused. So we got to see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Not just Iron Man, but Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man going up against the Mandarin. And I'd also like to see Fin Fang Foom in that movie as well. If you don't know about that character, just look him up, check him out. Fin Fang Foom, that is a Marvel character, which is just to sum it up, basically a dragon. Okay, this huge dragon that is very much personified. Okay, so now that we have the more mystic elements of the Marvel universe coming into the movies, like with Doctor Strange on the way, to me, nothing's impossible. So I think we actually could maybe see Fin Fang Foom worked in to the movie. I think that would be pretty cool. Now, focusing again on Captain America Civil War, I got to show you these two figures real quick. And I'm just using these figures to kind of help me out and remember certain points I want to make. The action in the movie jumps off really strong from the beginning, and you've seen this in the preview, so I'm not giving anything away. You know that there is a battle with Crossbones, and here I have the standard Crossbones, and then also have the battle damage Crossbones, which is only at Target. And there is another one, a completely unmasked one, I think is a Barnes & Noble exclusive, which I'm not so worried about getting that one. I think 2 Crossbones is fine. But the action sequence with Crossbones, it was more extensive than I thought it would be. It was more relevant than I thought it would be. It was really well handled and definitely set the tone as far as the action was concerned, and with the emotion as well of the movie. So that was a great scene. And by the way, again, the actor that plays Crossbones, Frank Grillo, to me, I really want to see him in even more action movies. He was great in this. He was great in Captain America, Winter Soldier. And then I also really liked him in The Purge, Anarchy. So I really want to see him in a lot more action movies. That guy is so on point. But moving along here with some other characters, the big characters that I know a lot of people were worried about how they would be handled. And by now you've heard the hype, and the hype is very real. Spider-Man, this is definitely the best Spider-Man that we have seen on film thus far. The humor is finally there. I think the age is right. I mean, just everything works. And like I said, I can't stress it enough. The humor, it really works, and that really makes him feel like the right character. Tobey Maguire, I think we all got tired of seeing him cry. Let's just be real. And then Andrew Garfield, he wasn't a bad choice to play the character, but I think he was a little too old, to be honest. So I think this Spider-Man is just going to be great moving forward, and definitely off to a great start. I was a little worried that because Marvel got the rights to finally use Spider-Man, that Black Panther would sort of get pushed to the side. And thankfully, that did not happen. Chadwick Boseman really got the chance to shine as Black Panther. And his costume was awesome. The way that he fought was really cool. Everything about that character just worked. And it really has me hyped now for his solo movie, even more than I was before. In fact, I might be more hyped for the Black Panther solo movie than the Spider-Man movie, although I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. And I don't know about you all, but I think it's about time that we get Mysterio on film. It's amazing that they haven't used that character yet, and they can do so much with that character, especially as far as special effects and 3D effects. And by the way, Marvel to this point has not really handled 3D that well. It's basically just paying extra money to wear some glasses. So if they do Mysterio, hopefully they'll get the 3D right. And I actually saw Captain America Civil War in 2D. A friend of mine saw it in 3D, and she says, really, you're probably just fine with the 2D. So if you're debating on whether or not to see this in 3D, I would say go for the 2D. You'll probably be just fine. I know me, I was perfectly fine with what I saw. I didn't worry about 3D at all. Okay, moving along here with some other characters from the movie. Now, I chose basically Team Iron Man, and I'm really a long time Iron Man fan. In fact, I do have the old school Iron Man figure around here somewhere. I don't think I have him right on hand. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, here he goes. Okay, so I actually grew up with this design of Iron Man. This is what I really remember from childhood. So I've always been a pretty big Iron Man fan, but that's not the only reason that I chose him. It's a lot because of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. We all know that he was brainwashed when he did some of the horrible things that he did, but at the same time, I just felt like the character has to answer for it in some way. You know, I felt like Captain America can't be blind to the fact that, yes, you know, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, he's got to at least stand up to what was done by him, even when he was under control. by Hydra. So that's the main reason that I went Team Iron Man, and I love that they actually addressed that in this movie. I'm not going to say how, but it's addressed in this movie, and that actually made me a lot more sympathetic to the character of Winter Soldier. So in the future, if the shield is passed, if somebody else takes up the mantle of Captain America, like has happened in the comics, I would actually be okay with it if it was Bucky, as did happen in the comics at one point. Now, I'm going to bring him back down here just so we don't have a shadow. We know that in the comics right now, or at least some of you know in the comics right now, that Falcon back there, and let me try to get some more light on him. I'm not going to move him from there because he's up there in that spot because he is one of my favorite Pops. This is basically my favorite Pops shelf. Falcon, I think, would also do well on screen, taking up the mantle of Captain America, but at the same time, I don't really think he needs to because he's just so awesome as a character. Anthony Mackie in this movie, best that he's done so far with the character. And I like that scene that he had in the AntMan movie, the little fight with AntMan. But this movie, the things that Falcon does really blew me away. And I really now can imagine seeing a standalone Falcon movie. I don't know if that would ever happen, if Marvel would think that's worth the investment, but I think it could actually do well, seeing the things that Falcon accomplished in this movie, truly being a hero. Now, I mentioned Ant-Man, and of course Ant-Man does appear in this movie. This is the glow-in-the-dark version, and you all know that from the spoilers, basically, in just the back of these Civil War boxes, we all knew that Giant Man was going to play a role, and I'm just moving things over here so you can see I do have Giant Man back there. Again, I'm not going to move him all out of position, but Giant Man's back there. And so that's not a spoiler. You've heard about it. You've seen the pop figure. And I'll just say it definitely lives up to expectations. Really amazing scene. But overall, Ant-Man, it is just, it's like he's there just to get involved on the action. Don't really expect too much from Ant-Man. So he got slighted maybe just a little bit there. Some other characters, again, keeping it moving here. Black Widow. My personal opinion about Black Widow, I love Scarlett Johansson. I think she's an amazing actress, definitely a beautiful actress. I'm getting to the point where I feel like her character is playing pretty much the same beats over and over. She's basically like the referee of the team, almost like, and I hate to say it, but almost like the mother figure on the team. And I'm not trying to be sexist, but just think about the things that she does in the movie. In the last movie, or I should say Avengers Age of Ultron, I'm always picking up after you guys. She's grabbing the shield and doing all these supportive things instead of being a part of the main action. I kind of got the same feel in this movie, although she does have more action going on and really good action too. This is probably the most that you'll see Black Widow do as far as action goes. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like the character's starting to play the same beats over and over, and I kind of wish they would give her some more interesting things to do. I'm going to turn to the back of the box here for a moment because I didn't purchase all of the figures in this line. I didn't bother purchasing Scarlet Witch. I just think they didn't really do anything interesting with her design. But as far as the character in the movie is concerned, I really enjoyed her. I like that there was some more growth to the character and you see her growing more. I'm not going to say specifically how, but yeah, I did like her in the movie. To me, Agent 13 was kind of just there. And she was there basically to form some sort of bond with Captain America. But to me, not the most interesting aspect of the movie. I wouldn't say she was a bad character, but just not the most interesting. And definitely not too interesting as a pop figure, so that's why I didn't pick her up. Now with Scarlet Witch, if you know the comics, then you know that she and Vision definitely form a bond and then a relationship. And Vision, the actor that plays Vision, for a while, and for many years actually, he played just the voice of Jarvis in the movies. And then Paul Bettany, that's the actor's name, finally took on the role of Vision, and I loved Vision in this movie, just like I love that pop figure. That's the metallic Vision and looks awesome. So yeah, I was so glad to find out that Paul Bettany was going to get to play Vision and finally actually be seen on the screen. And if you're not too familiar with that actor Paul Bettany, check out his catalog. He has some good movies. I want to say that he was in, I'm trying to think of the movie's name, Gangster #1 or something like that. with Malcolm McDowell in as well. I think he played the younger version of Malcolm McDowell, who was in A Clockwork Orange, and that's what Paul Bettany to me really can bring. He can bring that sort of intensity like the main character in A Clockwork Orange. So Paul Bettany, really loved him as Vision, and Vision brought some humor into this movie as well. So the humor didn't all land on the shoulders of Spider-Man and Ant-Man. There was decent humor throughout. We know that RDJ, as Tony Stark, has some good humor as well. So yes, it was very dramatic at times, but they did keep the humor in. And the airport scene where Giant Man makes his preview, and again, I'm not giving anything away there. I think you all know that. You heard it by now, that is where Giant Man shows up. That action sequence, that alone makes it worth going seeing the movie twice. I know I'm going to see it again. That scene was so amazing. Let me not forget another character here. Rhodey, War Machine, to me is probably one of the main characters that kind of felt shortchanged in the movie. Now, he was in it more than I actually thought he would be, but I still feel like there wasn't enough relevant that happened with him. Although the way that things end up with him, I hope they're going in the direction of the comics, to where War Machine, basically with his powers, his ability and everything, they kind of changed throughout his comic book run. So I hope that's where they're headed. I think that would be an interesting direction for the character. But in this particular movie, I can't really think of a moment where I was like, wow, I was really wowed by him. To me, it's like he was there to, support Iron Man, but that was pretty much it. Now, one character that doesn't have a pop, they don't have a pop of, is one of the villains in the movie. And this is where I will be very vague because I don't want to give much away. I'll just say that there's a villain in this movie. I think that he was handled much better than villains in the past. With Ultron, I looked so forward to Ultron. Like, just seeing Ultron in the first previews for Avengers Age of Ultron, it really sent chills through me. So I was looking so forward to it. And then the character ended up being just a little too goofy for my taste. And especially that moment where Hulk just tosses him out of the plane. That really reminded me of when Hulk slammed Loki around, which, yeah, it was funny. But at the same time, I think Marvel has had kind of a bad track record with villains, especially treating their villains like punchlines. That does not make for an interesting final encounter to me. So in this movie, I feel like the villain was much more clever. I like the way that he handled things and that he really had a purpose. He wasn't like just evil for the sake of being evil, which I can't stand. So I think they did a better job with the villain, even though he's not the type of villain you would usually get in this type of movie, especially considering such powerful characters. Now, I do want to point out here, I do have Hulk. I'm not going to take him down from up there, but I do have the Savage Hulk, the Hot Topic exclusive. I don't have Thor yet because I'm hoping that they do a better Thor for Thor Ragnarok. In my own personal opinion, I think Thor, his movies have probably been the weakest in the Marvel Universe so far. Hopefully Thor Ragnarok will, basically rectify that. But I just want to point out that Hulk and Thor, obviously they're not in this movie. I don't think they needed to be. Now already, just having Vision and then Scarlet Witch, those are two very powerful characters that, if you pit them up against each other, they kind of neutralize each other. But I think when you bring Hulk and Thor into the picture, it just doesn't quite work. I think they really throw off the power balance, so I'm glad that they actually weren't in it. And then I do look forward to seeing them together in Thor Ragnarok. And I hope it's true that Thor Ragnarok will have some shades of Planet Hulk within it. That's the rumor right now. And by the way, Hawkeye, yes, Hawkeye is in this movie. You saw him in the previews in Captain America Civil War. I wouldn't say that he got slighted, but I will say that's one good thing about Avengers Age of Ultron. It added some depth to his character, which carried over into this movie. So even though Hawkeye is not in it a huge amount, I think just the fact that they laid some groundwork there in Avengers Age of Ultron, that Hawkeye scenes actually had a little bit more weight to them. So I think I hit all of the major characters in the movie. And like I said, I know this is a very unconventional way to discuss a movie, to focus so much on particular characters, but I didn't want to just do a typical review or give you a grade because it's pretty obvious. Go see the movie. There's no reason not to check out such a great movie. And for me personally, it definitely washed that bad taste of Batman versus Superman out of my mouth. Now, I do want to be fair, though. Let me say this real quick. I don't think it would be fair, to compare Batman versus Superman to Captain America Civil War. And the reason that would not be fair is because with Captain America Civil War in the Marvel Universe, they have been building these characters up for years. DC is still getting their feet wet pretty much with this shared universe thing. That doesn't excuse some of the mistakes that they made with Batman versus Superman. But I'll say at this point, I really don't think it's fair to compare the two. And I think that Suicide Squad has a good chance of sort of riding the ship for DC. At least I really hope so. And I hope that they do get on the right track. But for right now, it's pretty much all about Marvel. Marvel is killing it right now. I look forward to, what else they're going to do in the future. And again, go check this movie out. There's no reason not to. Absolutely great movie. I can't wait to go see it again myself. In fact, I might even go check it out tomorrow, since tomorrow would be a great day, since tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day. I hope you all realize that. Free Comic Book Day tomorrow, so I'm going to be out and about anyway. I might have to go ahead and check this movie out again. Hey, psst, consider this my little after credit scene. If you stuck with me all the way to the end, then all you need to do is make sure you like this video, go on down to the comments, let me know if you've already seen Captain America Civil War without giving away spoilers, just general thoughts. What did you think about it? If you have not seen the movie yet, still, get on down to the comments. Let me know what you're most anticipating about the movie. I'll check out the comments, and then you will be in the drawing for, now obviously one of these is mine, but as long as you like the video and comment, you will be in the drawing, which is going to be next week, Friday the 13th. Pretty easy date to remember. I should have brought Jason Voorhees, my pop figure, over here. Easy date to remember, though. And I'm going to do the drawing for an unmasked Black Panther. And if I find anything cool, from between then and now, I may throw something else in along with that. But yeah, drop your comment. Thank you for watching all the way to the end here. And good luck next week with the drawing. That date again, Friday the 13th. You can't forget that. Take care.